Hey there guys, my name's EarthToLydia and welcome to the very first Storytime video. I briefly mentioned this story in my March update video and it's the explanation as to why I couldn't come into my recording room for a few days. As I said in the update video, my recording room is in my living room, it is my living room, and I've got this really long 7-foot desk up against one wall with all of my computers on it, and it's really important that I mention the length of the desk and where it is in the room because it's so wide that the desk takes up almost the full length of the wall, and one of the ends tucks into this little alcove in the corner of the room, and that's the end of the desk that I sit at to record and edit because my computers are on that end. And I put my computers on that end because the desk is in like two separate halves. The end with my computers on it is about 2 or 3 feet wide, you know, your standard desk size, and the other end that's closest to the door is only about 1 foot wide, so it's not actually wide enough to hold my computers with the keyboards and the monitors and everything. And the other end is so wide that if I turn the desk around, you wouldn't be able to open the door properly and it'd be a struggle to get in and out of the room, so that's why it's set up the way it is. Before I go any further, I need to mention that there are only 2 things in this world that I have a real phobia of: sharks and spiders. I can get into the reason that I'm so scared of sharks in a different video, but when I say that I have a phobia, I don't just mean that I'm scared or freaked out. Deep water freaks me out, heights freak me out. Sharks and spiders do not just freak me out. It doesn't matter how small or if it's behind glass, even seeing a picture of a shark or a spider will literally make my skin crawl. It makes me physically itch my skin until it's red raw, and it makes my heart beat faster. My body literally goes into fight or flight mode when I see either of them. I'm talking I physically locked myself out of my bathroom and didn't use my own bathroom for 3 days when I was a teenager because there was a spider under the cabinets and my parents were out of town. So at the weekend I was sat at my desk just minding my own business and preparing the thumbnail art for my giant video. You know, the video where I was talking about how much I hate spiders? Yeah, just hang on, you'll see how ironic this is in a second. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a little bit of movement on one of my shoes over by the door. I look over and there is a huge spider crawling across the toe of my shoe, and it's moving quickly in my direction. My rooms are up on the top floor of the house that I live in, so when I say it was a huge spider, I mean it's one of the thick brown spiders that usually lives underneath roof tiles, and it had gotten into my room through a gap in my balcony door. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, this thing was the size of the palm of my hand and it was heading towards me really fast, and I am literally cornered, like I am in a literal sense backed into the corner of my room with this spider coming straight at me. My immediate reaction as soon as I see it is to scream. I scream at the top of my lungs so loudly that the spider flinches and then just stops right in place between me and the door. I've got my eyes glued to this thing the whole time as I'm slowly getting up from my computer, walking all the way around the perimeter of my room, leaving all of my things, leaving my computer switched on, leaving my lights on, leaving everything. And then I get out of the door and run all the way down to the ground floor of my house. I go and tell my dad. I'm shaking, I'm itching, I'm trying to control my hyperventilating as I'm asking him to come and get rid of it for me. I tell my dad how big this spider is and immediately he thinks I'm exaggerating. I freak out of the tiny little money spiders that live in houseplants, and my dad just thinks it's some tiny thing until he goes up into my living room and from 2 stories down I hear him say, "Oh shit, it is big." So my dad gets rid of the spider for me and comes back to let me know, but I'm so freaked out that I can't physically bring myself to go back upstairs. After a few hours, I'd calmed down enough to be able to go back upstairs so that I can get into my bedroom, but I can't go back into my living room at all. Door stays shut, I cannot go into it, and I spend so much time in my bedroom thinking about it that I only slept from 3 a.m. until 7 a.m. that night. So the next day I'm out, and when I get home in the evening, I'm still not feeling brave enough to go into the room to grab a few things. As far as I'm concerned, my computers have gone into hibernate and I don't need anything in there, so I go up the stairs and straight into my bedroom. After a few hours, I go downstairs to get something to eat, and it's only on my way back up when I'm looking down at my feet to see where I'm going that I see what looks like the same huge spider on the bottom step of my stairs. Again, I screamed, I immediately run downstairs and call for my dad, and he goes up to check it out. I hear him start to laugh, and when he comes back down, he's showing the spider to me in his hands from the other side of the room. I'm screaming at him, yelling, "Fuck off, get away from me," but he comes over and tells me that it's plastic. This asshole had put several plastic spiders all over my stairs, over my landing, and in my living room, and I had only noticed on the way back up because he'd put it in places that they would normally be as well. Straight away I start to calm down and I'm laughing at it a bit with my dad, but then out of nowhere, within like 2 minutes, I just start crying uncontrollably. I mean, I'm completely sobbing, and my dad immediately stops laughing. He's looking at me like, what the hell? He's apologizing, saying it was meant to be a bit of fun. He thought it would be funny. He thought I was just being a wuss and didn't realize that I have a genuine phobia. So he went upstairs and got rid of them all for me before I could see them. I know it's only plastic, but I still couldn't go up into the room, and I didn't sleep at all that night, and my manager had to keep on making me coffee the next day. My dad's really understanding now, and he's fitted my rooms with pest repellent devices, like these little electronic things that make like sonic noise or whatever, and I'm looking into hypnotherapy for it, or counseling or whatever, because that's just an example of how much I hate spiders and how much it affects my life when this stuff happens. I hope you enjoyed this video and this new segment. Let me know if you have any phobias in the comments section, and if you like the story time so far. Until next time, I have been EarthToLydia. Sayonara, guys.